Right here! Don't be stupid! Kill you!
There she is! Right over here! God damn it!
Here we go.
Hey guys, I tell you what, there's this horror channel on YouTube that does audiobooks, like old classic public domain audiobooks. It's called Redbubble, and recently I listened to two really awesome horror stories on them. Both of them were nautical ones. They were both in compilations. The first one's called The Derelict, and the second one is called The Temple.
Right here! Don't be
Now,
stupid!
the first one, The Derelict, it was just basically the blob at sea. So, like just a regular trawler goes out, they find a derelict ship, like an abandoned ship, and as you would investigate it, right? They investigate it, they find like a fungusy type thing that eats people in a manner to the blob, or let's say the ruins. It just kind of envelops you, it has like a sort of acid that breaks you down and then it consumes you. Like, that alone is just awesome, just the idea in the ocean, there's no help, you come across an abandoned boat, and on that boat is just some horrible monster. There's no help, you're completely isolated, you're completely abandoned. Like, it's just an awesome idea, awesome setting, brilliant execution. Like that, it's not even that long, it's sort of a short story. But it has that old-timey sci-fi thought process in it as well, in the writing, that is just lacking from everything these days. It's like the classic old problem-solving science fiction thought process in the writing, and it's just awesome. Like, I love it. I love the execution of it. It's awesome to have come across it. The second one is the Temple. It's just an old-fashioned Lovecraft one, actually, and it's interesting how it's written. It's written as from the point of view of a German's crew aboard a German U-boat, and basically they come across an underwater Atlantean city, but the monsters are never explicitly shown. It's implied that there's some sort of vicious mer people, right? It has like the classic horror tropes of a dude who's having dreams of the monsters, having nightmares about them, sort of thing. He loses his shit. First, he gets whipped to try and instill discipline, because like it's a German hierarchical U-boat. You don't want your men going nuts and, you know, destroying the mission or whatever. So they first try to discipline him with whipping. Then he eventually kills himself by voiding himself out into the sea. It was written so long ago, it's hard to imagine that didn't inspire some other writers. Like, for example, Event Horizon, when that dude vents himself out into space in Event Horizon. Like, it's just all those little touches you come across, and you can see how they've inspired writing of the day. It'd just be like at the Mountains of Madness, the Lovecraft story where they go to Antarctica and they find all the old tubular monsters and all that sort of thing. Like, that is pretty much the thing when you think about it. Apart from the thing, like, really narrowing in and drilling down on the idea of, well, in my opinion, it was communism, but like communist subversion, infiltration and subversion. But like, it drilled in on that idea, but the setting was basically at the Mountains of Madness. They go to Antarctica. They find in ice horrible monsters. Not all the horrible monsters are dead. Like, it's basically the structure of that story.
Start running.
Now, the thing takes it a step further by playing up both on the isolation and the paranoia by making the monsters able to infiltrate, mimic people exactly, but it's still the same structure of the story, like the same sort of setting and build-up, and it's just a nice touch. Like, and I love when I come across that in old sci-fis, because it's like it's a familiar, nostalgic structure, I guess you'd say, and it's just awesome. And it just made me think, like, off the top of my head, I can't think of a true classic, either sci-fi horror or horror movie that is a classic that has used the idea of coming across a derelict in the ocean. Like, that same structure has been applied to, let's say, Alien, the original Alien, where they go into space, they come across the derelict in space, and it's full of alien eggs, and they're completely isolated. The alien aboard, yeah, manages to overpower them, and all hope is lost, and that sort of thing. But there hasn't been a true classic movie of that structure at sea yet. Not in my opinion, not that I can think of anyway. Where, let's say, they come across a derelict boat. The derelict boat has some sort of horrible monster in it. The salt water was managing to keep the monster at bay, sort of thing. Like, that is where you'd find, what would you say, a resurgence in classical culture to get away from all this woke shit. In my opinion, it'd be all this old school sci-fi and old school horror that's been overlooked for so long. That's clearly, like, inspired some of the current, well, from the 80s and stuff, but sort of semi-current popular culture in which everything exists these days. If you were looking to create more cultural identity, it would be building off that sort of thing, in my opinion. Well, now that I'm thinking about it, though, I guess that sort of thing has been used in elements, like what was it, Zombie 2, right at the start. It had the one of the protagonist's father's boat rock up in just a bay, just a random city's bay, and the boat had like a zombie on it. But like, that's like the perfect hook, in my opinion. It's like a perfect classic hook, but it hasn't been like the backbone of a full movie yet. It's only been used like in segments, like a hook. Like, at sea, like, that's kind of perfect. Like, it has what would you say, it has the isolation element, so it basically has all the suspense elements of Alien. You've got the mystery, you don't know what the monster is, you don't know what's going on, you just come across a derelict, there's a horrible situation aboard with all gore and everything. You completely isolate, it's the middle of the ocean, There's no resources if you don't have a fishing rod, because there's no food or anything. You can't drink the water. If you drink the water, you go mad. There's another element of the ocean horror. Like, that sort of thing, you know? Like, there's been, like, movies where they haven't exactly come across like a derelict, but they've been in underground water facilities, like, what was the one with Peter Weller? Deep Rising, I think it was. Where they're like underground deep sea miners for silver and stuff. And they sort of come across like a monster, but that's sort of the monster coming across them, if you know what I mean. It like lacks some of that mystery element. I suppose there was that, what was it called? Blood Vessel with the vampires. They come across the vampires, like that was straight out of the derelict, in my opinion. Basically, during wartime they come across a derelict vessel. They go aboard the derelict vessel, and it's vampires, but there's weird like fungal vein growths on the walls. It's like nearly ripped off the derelict in its setup, if you know what I mean. But the main problem with that movie was like the melodrama in between it, and the character archetypes felt just so cookie cutter. Like, modern stuff needs to have the balls to take its time, in my opinion. Like, all the character stuff is forced, none of it is natural, none of it's grounded. Like, yeah, they need to stop, they need to slow down, they need to ground their characters and things, like, have them either explorers or researchers or whatever. They need to base that off, as the old sci-fi writers did, exploration stuff in the olden days. For an example, the Mountains of Madness based a lot of their exploration stuff off of Shackleton and the Erebus and Terra, like, expeditions and that sort of thing. They need to ground it in what it would be about, like, to the point where the initial setup is almost boring, if you know what I mean, rather than all this cookie cutter, like, very, very childish sort of character development, where you have a Russian, you have an Aussie, you have a black guy, you have a random Italian guy. They're all horrible stereotypes. Like, it's just so unnecessary.
Cool.
Like, think about it once you get past all that diversity shit. Think about the initial Alien. The initial Alien, do you guys remember how slow that was at the start? How minimal all the dialogue was? How, like, bleak all the colours were? How it was just literally them finding a derelict and, like, landing there. Wasn't even that much character development, maybe 1 or 2 lines between each. The setting changed continually, like, there wasn't any stereotypical shit put in there. There wasn't any cookie cutter shit in there. Yeah. And the characters were all very real and grounded. What was it, Brett and the engineer dudes, they were lazy, they didn't want to work too much, they wanted to get paid for what they did. Like, that's sort of grounded in reality. They're like lower blue collar workers, that sort of thing. Yeah, but no, they can't do that these days. They've got to have their quotas. They've got to have their diversity quotas filled out. They need all different genders in there to, in theory, reach the market. And all of it just comes at the cost of it being genuine, and it's just all to the detriment of the art itself. It sucks. Like, I guarantee everyone would gravitate toward it more if it were more honest and more genuine about what it was, rather than trying to fulfill all the diversity quotas and all that sort of shit. So, like, they're trying to destroy culture with all this shit, in my opinion. They'll never do it, because there is such a wealth of story and culture that has already been overlooked. It's more than any one person can consume in a lifetime. Even by perverting current culture and sort of dead-ending it and trying to destroy it with all this Marxist shit, it still won't work. There's too much stuff out there, and like a lot of it's free as well. Like a lot of the old public domain sci-fi horror and horror, like even like the second variety, like Philip K. Dick sort of stuff, like all of that is out there and it's for free, and it's just like all this great culture and storytelling, and like they're never going to be able to destroy it all, but they still keep trying. Like, it's just so stupid. They could be adding to the culture, instead they're like trying to dead end it. But if you take one step back from their dead end, there are multiple paths. There's like infinite paths. Like, it's really gonna suck if there is like eventually gonna be some sort of war, let's say, where China and Russia and North Korea, like a lot of them manage to gang up. Like the Islamic world weakens America enough for China, North Korea and Russia to somehow overwhelm the US. Like, it probably won't happen, because if you have a look at the GDPs, the US is still number one. They're still far and away the most advanced military power. Like, the number two would be Russia, and Russia would take like 10-1 losses against the current US military. Like, the big standoff thing, why no one will invade anyone else, is probably nukes. But let's say, for example, there is like all of America's enemies somehow manage to overwhelm America through infiltration and subversion. As a result of them overwhelming America, there is some sort of, what would you say, mass online loss of knowledge / book burning, where China, CCP takes over, they purge the internet of all culture in order to try and seize totalitarian control. Like, that would be the big threat for, what would you say, the free West. But like, that will be the scenario where the Marxists finally manage to destroy all culture. Like, that is what it will take. Like, they won't get there through Disney's current stupid path of like losing millions and millions of dollars by making like progressive shit. Like, they won't get there with that, but like they're sort of leading to the scenario where what might happen is necessarily going to be that the Eastern powers, Russia and all that, are going to have to like overwhelm the West to try and destroy the free West. Like, they're going to have to use force to do it. Because like the current cultural subversion is just getting too expensive at this point in time. We've lived with good culture for too long for them to be able to destroy it by perverting IPs into current day progressive shit. Like, the fact that they've gotten this far, but it's really losing money now, should tell you that, okay, it's a losing strategy in the long term, and they've sunk a shitload of money into it, and they've still lost.
Get ready!
Over here!
Son of a bitch! Shit!
Don't let her escape! Right back there! Where did she go? Come on, get out. Flush her out. We might have her. Found you!
Ready or not?
Data! Work in!
I got it!
She's trapped! Keep it up! You better start running.
Holy shit. Where to now? Fuck me.